if you send me your answers so that both of us are richer. And doing that. You don't have to, but very few people, I'm telling you, are given the challenges. I personally probably sold more of these books than most people. He knows. And I want you to listen to the audiobook, because if you read the book, you put your emotion into it, but I want you to listen to the author's emotion, the author's passion in how bad he wants it for you. And I'm also warning you that he's not always politically correct, and that's one of the reasons I love it. He's very blunt, he's very direct, and he's like, in the audiobook, he goes, he says, you know, it comes to this chapter, he goes, and I wanted to call this chapter something else, but my publisher would not let me call it that chapter. So let me tell you, this is in my audiobook, I was going to call this chapter No Whiny Bitches. Then he calls, you know, because the 10x rule is the only difference between success and failure. The only difference between success and failure is the 10x rule. Because a friend of mine called me on Sunday. He goes, hey, Grant, dude, I need to make $10,000 next week. He goes, you need to make $10,000 next week? He goes, yeah, man, I need it. He goes, it was Sunday. He goes, the game was on. He goes, hey, dude, are you watching the game? He goes, yeah, man, it's an awesome game. He goes, what are you doing watching the game? I thought you said you needed $10,000. He goes, but Grant, man, I work hard. The good Lord said 6 days work and 1 day rest. Grant goes, dude, the good Lord wasn't talking to broke people. So he's very direct. I love it. Because this country is going to the dogs in terms of political correct. Nobody wants to tell you the truth. This is it is. It's time. You think, and also, people listen to it one time, they call me, they say, hey, what is the next book? It's like The 7 Habits. Tell me what the 7 Habits are. I've listened to that. It's a 7-hour audio cassette. I've listened to it over 15 times. How many hours is that? Add up. And I'm still listening. It's in here. I go to the gym, I'm in the car, I'm listening over and over again, something new pops up, or something I forgot reignites me. Reignites me. Show me how bad you want it, and I'll show you a successful person. The 10x rule. And so I went to him and I said, hey, you have all these REOs, you have the source, the thousands of properties. Every month he gets. If somebody has all these inventory, all these properties, then they need more of what? Buyers. They already have the money and the house, they need the buyers. I have students all over the country. And I said, I go out and teach them how to find a deal. Because the hardest thing of the 5 F is what? Finding a deal. And he is giving me the deals in a silver platter. Why do I need to spend money in advertising? Why do I need to teach people how to find a deal? And every month, on the first of the month, including this month, he gets a list from Ocwen. Ocwen is the largest servicer. Thousands of properties. Usually about 1,000 to 2,000 properties. And we get it on the first. I send the list to my students on the second. Now, they have to bid. We have to now bid on everything. That's why we get the deals, right? And these are, nobody, the little guys, you and me, could never play this game because in order to get the, number one, you need the connection. Number two, you need millions of dollars because you have to buy the whole thing in order to get the discount. If you go and say, hey, I want to buy 2 houses, do you think they're going to talk to you? No. If you say, I want to buy 20, you think they'll talk to you? No, they will not talk to you. Because you want to buy the whole thing. So what we have done is created a private bidding platform. And because we bid on all 1,000, and if they accept it, we have to come up with the money in 7 days for all of them. So and there's no way in 7 days you can do due diligence on 1,000 properties. Am I correct? Yeah. There's no way, physically not possible. So we have to go blind. But what we have done, and that's why we buy this property, by the Auckland sells these properties. This is not an exclusive list, meaning that if you look, these properties are listed at the auctions.com, or how many of you know what Hubzu is? Hubzu is the auction site for Auckland. So they sell it through Auckland to Hubzu first. And if they cannot sell it, whatever they couldn't sell, they want to liquidate, they send it to us. And our specialty is the 50,000 and under properties. 50,000 and under. That's our specialty. And so they do is they take those property, and the price that they give us is the starting bid price at Hubzu. And in an auction site, they make the starting bid price typically low, so people will do what? Bid it up. So the starting bid price, they make it low. If that's not the value and that's not the price they want, they just starting bid price, and they have a reserve, kind of a minimum reserve. When they send us the list, we buy these properties at 30 to 70% below the starting bid price. Below the starting bid price. So, because we're buying the whole thing, right? So how you can participate in this, your good fortune, is that we have created a private platform that when we put 1,000 properties, like this one, there was 895 properties in June. And I send the list on the 1st, I get it. On the 2nd, I send it to my students, give 7 days. Because we're buying it blind, but I don't want my students to buy this blind. So I give a lockbox code to all of these properties, and the address and the lockbox code and the starting bid price. So you have 7 days, because you want to buy 1, 2, 3, you can always go there and you can do due diligence in 7 days. You can do 10 properties, 20 properties easily. Right? So you go to the lockbox, open the house, do your due diligence, do the title search, all the things, get your money ready, and then you decide how much you want to bid for this property. And whatever, if the list is for 50,000, and you want to say, you know what, that's a starting bid price 50. That's not the value, that's not what they want. You say, I want 25. You put 25, and then what you have to do is give 50% deposit, and the bank will let us know around the 20th of the month if we want it or not. If you want it, we give you 24 hours to come up with the second 50%. If you cannot come up with the second 50%, you lose your first 50%. Why? Because we still have to pay. Because what we did is, instead of this, one thing I do not do is I never compete with my students. Because I know what your price is, because I'm the one putting the bid in. I can always put $1 more and cut you out if I wanted to, couldn't I? Right. So I put in your bid in my place. So if 895 properties, if 600 of them were my students' bid, so the 600 goes on the student, what's left over, I bid. So my students get to play at the same level as I'm doing with the same discount. So you can buy one house at the same price that I buy 895. And you can, and let me tell you the problem with that is, in terms of, it's not the money, it's that what I find is no matter how much I teach my students that live where you want to live, but invest where it makes sense. Because these 895 properties is scattered over 42 different states, sometimes 48 different states. They're all over the place. So if you're living in California, and for $50,000, $25,000, you can even buy an outhouse for you. A started, junker house is $250,000. That's your junker house. So the reason more students are excited, because listen, more people can afford $25,000, $50,000 than $250,000. And this is the down payment can buy you a whole house. So, but because people don't have, you don't have anybody in Tennessee, Florida, Michigan, all these places, so you don't know after you buy it, what am I going to do with it? What am I going to do if I buy these properties? So what we have done is launched what we do with these properties ourselves, because I'm bidding also, winning hundreds of properties myself in Marburg. Whatever we do with ours, we're offering a turnkey service to my students. That there's two ways you can buy, is you can bid, and if you win a property, then you give it right back to us. So if you're buying at the same price, same discount as I am, how do I make money? Is I add a small fee, $2,500 per property. And you add to the whatever you want to bid. If you have $50,000, you want to bid 25, then know that there's $2,500 buyer's premium on top of that. That's my fee. I don't make markup, I'm very transparent. So the same list the bank gives me, I give it to you. So that if you see a price, if you go to the online to the website, you'll see the same price. It's not like I padded it up and there's $2,500 on top. No, it's the same number. So as I said, if I want to beat you, I can always compete against you because I already know your number. And I know that you're going to buy it, so I can buy it and sell it to you. No. So, but also, that's one way for bidding. But if you bid, you may get it, you may not get it. Another thing we also do is because we are bidding also, the ones that we win, immediately we make those available to the students also. That, hey, here's the one that we just won. So you no longer have to bid or anything, wait for 20 days. You just, here's the price, and just add my $2,500. If it works for you, the property is yours. And we sell it the way we buy it. The bank gives us a quick claim deed, we give you a quick claim deed. If bank gives us a special warranty deed, we give you a special warranty deed. But almost 99% of the property that we buy from Aquin now is quick claim deed. But we have other sources that gives us warranty deed. So however we buy it is however we sell it. Are you clear? And so you have to come up with 50% deposit, and then on the 20th, you give the other 50%. And if you don't win it, within 24 hours, I give you the money back. Because I don't want your money, because the bank tells us on the 20th. And so very simple. And also, but more of my students are doing less of the bidding because we know how to win these bids better than you. So we win it, and then we sell it to you if it works for you. So that's how we do it. And the ones that we win, we're also willing to owner finance you on those deals. Not all of them, some of them. And we give you, here's your cash price, and here's your owner financing. Because not everybody, although it's $50,000 or $20,000, still is $20,000. So you can, instead of $50,000, we have a flat fee of $5,000, and we will finance it all the way up to 30 years with no points, no fees, no prepayment penalty, 12%. I'm the only idiot in town who will do that because I want my students to get started. So you get into the game. You cannot make money sitting on the sideline. And so the question is, how do you become my student? So I'm going to share with you, how do you become my student? And I'm going to make it so irresistible for you from doing that. So what we're going to do is, this is a bank REO list. We create a bidding platform. We give you the exclusive list of CFDs. CFDs for contract for deed. So we can sell it for contract for deed. And so once you buy it, we have a BH pages, buy here, pay here. We have a company called Buy Here, Pay Here Homes. Just like your car lots. Buy here, pay here car lots. We have Buy Here, Pay Here Homes. And so that's how we sell our houses. So when you buy a house from us, it's your house. You can do whatever you want with it, or you can give the house back to us, right back to us. And then we will do what needs to be done to market the house, to sell the house, and then give you the money. How we do it, the reason we're successful with this, because in this turnkey process, the reason we're successful is because we have eliminated you. You're the problem. We have eliminated you. And the reason we're successful is because of the things we do, and more importantly, the things we do not do. The two kisses of death in this lower echelon housing is, number one is renovation, and number two is renters. And we don't do either of them. We do not renovate houses, and we do not do renters. Because what do renters do to a house? Trash it. So how we do it, and by the way, it's no secret. So remember I said the secret is a four-letter word called W-O-R-K, and nobody wants to do that? So that's a secret. And so if you buy a house, you can do it yourself, by all means. And I'll tell you exactly what to do because that's what we're doing. But I don't want you to do it because it requires specialized what?
Knowledge.
And we have not only the specialized knowledge, we have the experience. My partners have been doing it since 2006, buying from Auckland. So 2006 till now. So what we do is we buy the house. Let's say that you bought a house for $18,000. And let's say that it included my buyer's premium. So that's you're in for $18,000. Are you with me? The reason how we sell it quickly is we don't do renovation. We do property preservation. The day we buy it, the way you give the property, we go and we change the lockbox, take the banks out, put our lockbox in there. We take their signs down, put our marketing sign up. We mow the grass so the city won't give us code violation liens. If the window is broken, we board up a window and we go inside the house, detrash the house,